evening and many thanks for joining us. You're watching QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue with me, Ansman Esonyase. Here are the main news headlines. President Barrow received World Bank officials and the OMVG Council of Ministers at the State House in Banjul on Friday. During a special tribute ceremony on the first anniversary of their deaths, the Gambia Police Force honored the memory of 2 officers killed in the line of duty in 2023 at the Sukuta Javan traffic lights. Now, following the recent frequent power cuts, the most recent being on Thursday, we engaged NAWEC's communications officer for an explanation. And following a recently conducted review, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education announced that more than 3,000 teachers have been promoted and over 700 schools have been reclassified. During a session at the National Assembly, some National Assembly members questioned the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, Dauda A. Jallow, about the Gambia Armed Forces' defiance of a High Court ruling ordering the reinstatement of former Corporal Omar Sadio. And in international news, Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye dissolved Parliament on Thursday, 6 months after he was elected, and announced new legislative elections for November 17th. Well, stay tuned for more on these and other stories. And we now take a look at the news in detail. Now, President Barrow received World Bank officials and the OMVG Council of Ministers at the State House in Banjul on Friday. They briefed the President on the progress of a range of ongoing projects and plans. Loliam Kamara reports.
It was a busy day for the President as officials from the different organizations making up the delegation took turns to meet him in a closed-door session to discuss the progress and plans of their various programs in support of the Gambia's sustainable development. The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Zidi Keita, briefed the media afterwards.
This is one of its kind, and it is for the first time that the Gambia has received a joint mission of the World Bank Group. And this was not just a courtesy call, it was a deep dive discussion with the President. And the President was deeply informed, and he was also telling the bank group the appreciation of the government for their support, but also urging the bank to do more. That as a developing country, we cannot do it alone.
The World Bank officials reaffirms the World Bank Group's commitment to supporting the country's sustainable growth and government's development plans and priorities. Usman Jagana is the World Bank Vice President for Western and Central Africa.
Very optimistic based on what we have heard, and also when you put the Gambia in the context of what is happening in Africa, that our programs will continue to grow in the country, because this is a country that enjoys peace and stability. We need to supervise our program, and in doing the supervision of the program, we will necessarily engage directly with the beneficiaries to get their feedback on what we are doing and what works well in the program that we are supporting and also managing, and what is not working.
Sergio Pimenta, the International Finance Corporation's Regional Vice President for Africa, shared what he discussed with the President.
So in order to create jobs, first of all, creating jobs is the priority of many governments, including here, for obvious reasons, because we do need to create jobs, particularly to the youth. This is a country with a very strong young population, and also for the women. Women need to fully participate in the economic activities, and so for that we do need to have the proper tools to help them participate in the economy, right?
The OMVG officials were accompanied by the Minister of Environment, Rohi John Menjang. Through a translator, El Haji Lassana Fofana, OMVG High Commissioner, says they are working hard to maintain connectivity in countries involved, and he commented on the current power outages in the Gambia.
We have been able to interconnect some of the power grids of our member states. The Soma and Brikama substations were built and commissioned by the OMVG, and these will facilitate the transmission of energy between Senegal and Gambia for about 50 megawatts. Recently, there was an incident yesterday in Senegal That is why the electricity supply between Senegal supplying Gambia electricity, that's where the incident was in Senegal, and that is why there was a difficulty with regard to electricity supply here yesterday in the Gambia.
Also to visit President Barrow was Dr. Mohamed Lamin Sanyang, project manager for the World Bank-funded West Africa Coastal Areas Resilience Management Project, WACA.
So Kotu Stream, just to give you a background, is 11.2 kilometers. And then you have the catchment area as 1,881 hectares. You have over 200,000 people living there, densely populated. When you calculate that, roughly is about 10% of our national population. So anything to do with that project is very important. And just recently, during the beginning of the before the rainy season, we had a short-term intervention for flood mitigation. So that one was really successful, and we thought it is necessary to brief His Excellency on that. And we had a concern also, that is the heavy encroachment of the stream. Yes, heavy encroachment of the stream. So if we are to redesign that stream again, some of those structures need to go off.
According to the delegation, President Barrow expressed his appreciation for the support and emphasized the importance of addressing issues such as coastal erosion, climate change, and youth employment, among other things. For QTV News, Lolem Kamara.
Now, during a special tribute ceremony on the first anniversary of their deaths, the Gambia Police Force honored the memory of 2 officers killed in the line of duty in 2023 at the Sukuta Jabang traffic lights. The event was held at the Anti-Crime Police Headquarters in Banjul. Usman Jata tells us more.
In September 2023, at around 9 p.m., Police Intervention Unit officers Pati Jallo and Sanjay Gomez were fatally shot while on duty at the Sukuta Jabang traffic lights. A lone gunman armed with a 9mm pistol opened fire on the officers, killing 2 and injuring a third. The assailant escaped in a black BMW car. 1 year later, the GPF, together with the families of the deceased, gathered to commemorate the fallen officers. Sidi Mukhtar Toure is the Inspector General of Police.
This fateful day, the lives of these young patrons were snuffed out. Their families, friends and loved ones were robbed of their sweet company. Neither Pieces Jao and Gomez nor their respective families expected to be told later that evening that they are no more. Their walls were shattered with devastating news of their demise, like any human being who has lost a loved one. We are all shocked and saddened by this incident.
While we can never erase,
Commissioner of Anti-Crime, Momodou Sow, praised the officers' dedication and confidence.
we gather here today to ensure that their memories live on, not just in words, but in actions and commitment we make moving forward. Officers PC Sanjay Gomez and PC Pati Jallo embodied the finest quality of public service, dedication, courage, and unyielding commitment to the safety of others.
Following the tragic incident, police arrested the suspect, Osenu Bojang, a native of Brufut. He was arraigned before the High Court, where he allegedly confessed to shooting the officers. To a witness who testified during Bojang's trial, relatives of the deceased expressed hope that justice prevails. We are grateful to God. The police and the government are working hard to ensure justice is served.
Because police
We cannot say much about the court case due to a lack of information. However, we have high hopes of a favorable outcome, as we believe the police and the president will strive for justice.
The police and families of the deceased visited the scene of the crime to honor the memory of the fallen officers and their invaluable service to the nation. Osman Jata, reporting for QTV News.
Well, our prayers with the fallen officers, and we continue to remember their friends and colleagues during these difficult times. Now, the recent frequent power cuts in many parts of the country, especially on Thursday, by the National Water and Electricity Company, has caused public concern. QTV's Amadou Tamba engaged NAWEC's communications officer to the reasons. Here is the interview.
Intermittent power cuts are common in the Gambia. However, in the last few months, power cuts have become more frequent nationwide. On Thursday, the 12th of September, most of the households struggled without electricity for several hours. Buba Baji, the communications officer at NAWEC, clarifies the reasons for the most recent widespread power cut.
For the past 24 hours, we've been having a lot of power outages due to a few reasons, and then which are unfortunate, very, very unfortunate reasons. One being, we have an IPP that is an independent power producer with Scar Power. For the past 72 hours, they've been running on one engine. One of their engine got a fault. If you know, Car Power is supplying us with 30 megawatt, and then it's like we are now getting 15 megawatt plus our own megawatt. Our IPP supply is also Senelec through the OMVG. Unfortunately, yesterday was a very bad day for the sub-region, not the Gambia alone, because what happened to Senelec? Senelec is like feeding both Gambia, Mali, Mauritania, and then Guinea-Conakry. So when it failed yesterday, it even impacted.
This latest power outage comes a few days after the Minister of Petroleum and Energy, Nani Juara himself, a former NAWEC MD, revealed that the Gambia owes a huge debt to Senelec, a Senegalese electricity company supplying electricity to the Gambia.
So this is made as a bilateral arrangement where a concession has been given to us to say whatever energy that you take from us, that's what you pay. But it's not necessarily because this is a credit sale. It is not a prepayment, it's a credit sale. So if you are in credit sale, there is no way that you must be in arrears. Of course, if the money is available, the cash flow is adequate, now it will not be owing Senelec. But unfortunately, that's the situation where we are now.
These figures have left the public wondering whether the debt owed to Senelec might be a contributory factor to the recent power outage. Mr. Baji again.
Absolutely not. They have no connection at all. Let me repeat. They have no connection. What happened? Senegal did not disconnect Gambia. Senegal had a problem and it collapsed. It was an accident that had happened within technical fault that had happened.
If the problem is not solved, it will continue to cause revenue loss to businesses and affect the public. Communication Officer Baji hopes that Senelec will continue to supply Gambia with electricity despite the debt we owed.
I don't think that will happen. Because as I said, it's not an agreement like you and I. These are interstates. And then Senegal and Gambia, the electricity, its OMVG is roughly there. So, and then I may not be privy to all the contractual details, but what I can tell you is we will not reach there. Because if we would have reached there, that 10 billion we owe them, they would have disconnected us.
The Gambia government has planned to bring electricity to every Gambian by 2025. However, with the current frequently intermittent power supply, there appears little realistic prospect of attaining that goal anytime soon. For QTV News, Amadou Tamba.
And a report there by Amadou Tamba will lead us to the commercial break, but we will be right back.
Ready to jumpstart your tech career? At IIHT Gambia Limited, we offer a variety of in-demand courses to equip you with essential skills for the tech industry. Our programs include Diploma in Information Technology and Cybersecurity, Cisco Certified Network Associate and Network Professional, Advanced Diploma in Software Development, Diploma in Multimedia, Graphic Design and Digital Marketing, Diploma in Database Administration and Technical Support. Whether you're starting your IT journey or looking to advance your career, our expert instructors and hands-on learning will prepare you for success. Don't wait. Enroll today and transform your future. Call us at 701968 or 3464161 or visit us at 55 Kairaba Avenue, adjacent to the U.S. Embassy, Fajara, Kanifing Municipality. Learn more at www.ihtgambia.gm. IIHT Gambia Limited, connecting talent to opportunity.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. The Bertel Harding Highway is transforming transportation in the Gambia with new roundabouts and vehicular overpasses. But safety must come first. Standing along the road or at roundabouts to flag down taxis creates unsafe conditions and unnecessary traffic jams. Remember, always board taxis at designated taxi garages or the garas located at major traffic points. Drivers stopping in no stopping zones will be penalized. Let's keep our roads clear and safe. Together, we can ensure a safe and efficient journey for all.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Following the commercial break, reminded you're watching QTV Nightly News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Now, at a press conference on Friday, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education announced that more than 3,000 teachers have been promoted and that over 700 schools have been reclassified following a recently conducted review. Mamadou Gajaga has more.
The announcement of these promotions and reclassifications come on the eve of the nationwide return to school following the rainy season holidays. A revised scheme of service, SOS, for the teaching cadre shows 3,862 teachers being promoted, several of them for the first time. The ministry says their promotion come with improved pay. Aside from the promotions, the review has resulted in posting of teachers as well as the reclassification and recategorization of some public schools. Louis Moses Mendy, the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, explains.
It has created quite a number of positions, administrative positions at school level, such that people would ordinarily have to move. And in movement of teachers, we need to ensure that they are appropriately and properly placed. And that takes time. So we needed to have that time to ensure that everyone is appropriately placed before we could release the postings.
According to MOPSI, the purpose of promoting the teachers is to better provide for their welfare in both positions and pay. In the promotion classification, a head teacher in a particular school could be made headmaster or principal of another school. There used to be teachers' scales of A, B, and C, which have now been upgraded to D and E. Ibrahim Asedi, Director of Human Resources at MOPSI, explains.
For me, as a Director of Human Resources, is the promotion of people or the migration of people from their current status to the next level of status. Because if you look at the scheme of service, before it was revised, we have Class A, Class B, and then Class C.
Esa Sow, Deputy Secretary General Gambia Teachers Union, and Musa Ba, Principal Education Officer, Human Resource Department, MOPSI, gave statistics on the reclassification and recategorization of schools.
Now, before January 2024, lower basic schools are categorized as A, B, C, C being the highest, upper basic 1, 2, 3, 3 being the highest. But this time around, what has happened is that the lower basic schools have been recategorized. The category has increased from C to E. So instead of 3, we have 5.
Currently, we have 82% basic cycles, Basic cycles, for those who may not know the system, it means where you have from grade 1 to grade 9 basic educations. Of course, sometimes it would include the ECD also. We also have the lower basic school, 515 of them, lower basic schools, what we used to call primary school in the olden days. We also have SS, senior secondary school, 62 schools rather.
Teachers in the Gambia went on a nationwide sit-down strike in 2023 over allowance issues. However, it was ended after government entered into a dialogue and agreed to some of their demands. These include allowance increases and the reclassification of schools. Mumudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Now, during a session at the National Assembly, some National Assembly members questioned the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dauda A. Jallow, about the Gambia Armed Forces' defiance of a High Court ruling ordering the reinstatement of former Corporal Omar Sajo, who the court found was unjustly dismissed from the Army in 2017. Osman Jatta again.
Omar Sajo was dismissed from the Gambia Armed Forces in 2017. Following an investigation into allegations that he was not a Gambian citizen. However, Omar Sajo challenged the allegations and his dismissal by the state, saying he is a Gambian and has never returned to the southern Senegal region of Casamance as he was not from there in the first place. A GAF statement issued on 2nd November 2020 claimed that Corporal Sajo was dismissed in 2017 for enlisting in the army under false pretenses on a widely shared allegations that he was the son of Salif Sajo, the leader of the Casamance separatist group, the MFDC. For clarification, a journalist once interviewed Salif Sajo about his alleged relationship to Corporal Sajo. This was his response.
This is a lie, saying that he is Salif Sajo's son. He is grown because he has a mustache and a beard. He should be helping me in the bush instead. I have no child in Casamance or any corners of the world.
In 2022, the High Court ruled in favor of Corporal Sajo and ordered his reinstatement into the army, with compensation declaring his dismissal unlawful. Despite this ruling, Corporal Sajo has still not been reinstated. Honorable Almami Jiba, the National Assembly member for Fonye Councillor, engages the Attorney General and Justice Minister Dauda A. Jallow on the matter.
By judgment delivered on the 18th day of November 2021 by Honorable Justice F.A. Achibonga, the High Court held that the dismissal of the applicant is null and void and of no effect. Notwithstanding the fact that the judgment is valid and subsisting, a disciplined force like the Army has to thoroughly consider and evaluate the circumstances for reinstatement before implementation.
Honorable Jiba and Honorable Yahya Menteng Sanyang, member for Latrikunda Sabiti, both raised concerns about the rule of law and justice with regards to the failure to reinstate Corporal Sajo.
We really see injustice and also the respect for the courts as an institution.
This government has utmost respect for judicial decisions. The decision is a declaratory one. It declares that the dismissal is null and void. It did not specifically direct for reinstatement. So we are reviewing the proper course of action.
You are still telling us that is in order? An institution like armed forces, sitting on High Court decision for 3 years, you are still telling the National Assembly member that is in order?
No, I did not say that.
Seni Jawara, the National Assembly member for Lower Salom, wanted to know the government's expected time for redeploying the dismissed corporal. Here is the minister's response.
The Ministry of Justice's role here is supportive, and we are supporting the relevant departments in that regard. I cannot tell on their behalf how soon.
In early July 2024, the Defense Minister Sering Morinjai informed the National Assembly that the court order was only recently served on his ministry and has been forwarded to the Ministry of Justice for legal advice. It was the delay in progress in this regard which prompted the NAMS to question the Justice Minister to shed light on the issue. Osman Chata, reporting for QTV News.
And now on to international news. Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye dissolved Parliament on Thursday, 6 months after he was elected, and announced new legislative elections to be held on November 17th. Alaji Lamin Funding Dabo reports.
The elections must take place within the next 90 days, according to Senegal's constitution, and analysts say Faye's popularity, especially among young voters, should allow his political party to secure a parliamentary majority. The Benno Bokk Yakaar opposition platform, led by former President Macky Sall, condemned the move. They said Faye had convened a legislative session under false pretenses to announce the dissolution and accuse him of perjury. Faye 44 won the vote in April to become Africa's youngest elected leader, less than 2 weeks after he was released from prison. During the presidential campaign, he promised widespread reforms to improve the living standards of ordinary Senegalese, including fighting corruption, reviewing fishing permits for foreign companies, and securing a bigger share of the country's natural resources for the population. He was elected with 54% of the votes, but 6 months later, many of these pledges have yet to materialize. Faye and Ousmane Sonko, the country's prime minister and a popular opposition figure who helped catapult Faye to victory, have blamed the parliament as their political party PASTEF does not hold a majority in the assembly. This, says Faye, has blocked him from delivering his promised reforms. In June, the Benno Bokk Yakaar coalition, led by the former President Macky Sall, cancelled a budgetary debate in a dispute over whether Sonko was required to issue his government's policy roadmap, with Sonko arguing that he was not required to do so. Over 60% of Senegalese are under 25 and 90% work in informal jobs. Senegal has been hit by skyrocketing inflation in recent years, making it difficult for them to get by. The country is also a major source of irregular migration to Europe, with thousands living every year on rickety artisanal fishing boats in search of economic opportunities. Thursday's announcement came a few days after one such boat carrying almost 90 people capsized, killing at least 39. On his Facebook page, President Faye posted a message saying, "After the unbearable drama of illegal immigration that has hit the country, Senegal is mourning. I stand with bereaved families and reaffirm our commitment to dismantling migration nets that exploit our children." End of message. Senegal's National Assembly has until the end of December to vote on the budget for next year, but new legislative elections might make it hard to meet this deadline. For QTV News, I am Lamin Alaifandindawo.
And I'm afraid that's all about it for the Citizen News. On behalf of the entire production team, thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow, same time.